gentlemen, thank you for allocating your time on our student forum at University College Yayasan Pahang. We are here to listen for a few opinions on the needs of sex education towards Muslim teenagers. In recent years, sex among teenagers become the serious problem. This condition become really dangerous if it loses control because it can break the teenager. The Institute of Public Health has conducted a study on students from 212 schools nationwide. The report released is very worrying. 31.9% of these high school students had sexual experience before the age of 14. Mr. Faris, in your opinion, what is sex education and can you share what do you know about sex education?
My name is Muhammad Faris bin Amir. Thank you, Ms. Munira. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh and a good morning. I will explain to all of you what sex education. Sex education is the provision on information about bodily development, sex, sexuality, and relationship, along with skills building to help young people communicate about and make informed decisions regarding sex and their sexual health. Sex education should occur throughout a student's grade levels with information appropriate to students' development and cultural background. It should include information about puberty and reproduction, abstinence, contraception, and condoms, relationship, sexual violence, prevention, body image, gender identity, and sexual orientation. It should be loved by trained teachers. Sex education should be informed by evidence of what works best to prevent unintended pregnancy and sexually transmitted infection, but if schools who respect young people right to complete and honest information, sex education should treat sexual development as a normal, natural part of human development. So, sex education is not only seen biologically or physically, but also has 5 dimensions. The first dimension is biological and physical. The second, cognitive dimension, is the mind and the mind. The third dimension is feelings. The fourth is social dimension. And finally, the spiritual dimensions. Ms. Hasnida, your opinion, does this sex education need to be exposed to teenagers for now?
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Hasnida binti Hamdan from Course Islamic Management. Okay, thank you Faris Amir for the sharing. Okay, so now we go through to the opinion should or not to be exposed towards teenager Muslim. Okay, actually this discussion related to the teaching and learning about sex education are not things that Islam opposes. In the Quran and Hadith, there are many discussion and set questions, especially those related to health such as prayer, fasting, marriage, interpersonal relationship, human being and so on. Okay, so sex education in Islam is included in the matter demand in religion in educating children. So, to ensure that the Muslim community receive a sex education suggested in Islam, the element present in the sex education should be have Islamic values guide by the teaching of the Quran and Hadith. There are things that are halal and haram in Islam should be emphasized. Inform human being who have poor and praiseworthy moral. Abdullah Nasir Urwan states the sex education should be taught to children clearly and detailed when children have come to their sense. So he defined a sex education as teach, explain, and warn teenager about issue related to sex, instinct, lust, and its relationship with marriage. until they grow up in a state of understanding of meaning of life. Adolescents know what is allowed and what is forbidden, and they make Islamic attitude and behavior a practice in life. Sex education. This sex education should be taught according to age because of the level child developmental age varies. For example, at the age of 7 to 10 years, children need to be taught about manner of asking permission and manner of sex. At the age of 10 to 14 years, children need to be taught how to stay away of lust. Sexual manner can be revealed at age 14 to 16 years. When they reach puberty or adulthood, they need to be taught how to maintain self-esteem. Sex is always linked with sex intercourse, feeling, desire, and behavior are the human sexuality. Aziz Muhammad Zain and Yusmini argue that sex education needs to be integrated with faith, education, morals, and worship. Individual of noble character indirectly practice behavior sexuality help and not deviate from religious teaching. So, based on the definition state, it can be concluded that sex education is a process of educating and imparting knowledge about aspects related to sexuality between men and women. Should be based on the concept of faith and trust in Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, which creating human being and knowing more about human. In addition, sex education is to educate lust according to the teaching Islam, so that is become a lust that is blessed by Allah, a lust that gives serenity and happiness in life, so that people stay away the act of adultery, which is very angry with Allah.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Afika binti Omar Amin. My course is DMI and SEM 3. My role is panel in this forum. So, I am very excited to hear the sharing from Miss Ida and Mr. Faris. Thank you. Yes, the main purpose of sex education is to make teenagers aware of the implication of premature sex and of them to say no to premature sex. But some researchers have found that their level of knowledge about sex and reproductive health, especially about pregnancy and sexually transmitted disease, is extremely unsatisfactory. For example, how many students still think that pregnancy can be prevented by washing the vagina after having sex. I think the fact to some extent support need for sex education. The question is how much extent sex education effective to teenager? Can you comment, Mr. Faris?
Yeah, thank you, Miss Hasnida. So, is sex education effective for adolescents? 1. Get students who are physically, spiritually, intellectually, and emotionally balanced. 2. Identify and distinguish the core values of humanity and life more rationally. 3. Increase adolescents' concern for negative sex. 4. Able to change adolescents' perception of sex to a more human and sacred perception. 5. Adolescents can be aware of every problem as a source of heredity. 6. Know the method that can be used. 7. Can be infected with a disease that spreads through sexual intercourse. 8. Adolescents are more confident in discussing said problem and complaining about problem they face or trying to find a solution. 9. Adolescents are not easily influenced and done with immoral activities. 10. Adolescents can view their sexual potential in a planned manner without harming themselves and their partner. 11. Awareness of adolescents about the role and function of men as protectors and guardians of women. And finally, adolescents' knowledge of parents and fathers, as well as emphasis on the importance of family use and also educating children.
Oh, I see. There is a lot affecting Venus of sex education, but there are also say that many effort are not effective effective on teenager. So Ida, can you share the cause or factor that hinder education and measure to overcome the teenager who do not pay attention to this issue?
Okay, thank you Afrika Amin for the question. Okay, the causes or factor that hinder education and measure to overcome the teenager who do not pay attention to this issue. Actually, after you are talking about the need to have sex education in school, it is still not fully accepted. Although many acknowledge the need for sex education for children, but there are still have parents who have angry when they find out that sex education is taught in school. This anger exists because parents are worried that if their children learn about sex edu, their curiosity about it will be exaggerate. So with the knowledge they have acquired, they will try it themselves. However, there are parents who feel relief if the school can provide this sex education to their children. This is because they don't know how to explain and the existence of shame to explain the matter. So, if the task can be taken by school, they are very welcome. It not only lighten their load, but also ensure that children get relevant knowledge from responsible source instead of relying on magazine, the internet, and peers. But Secretary of the National Union of Teaching Service (NUTP), Lok Yin Peng, acknowledged teachers' lack of confidence in teaching sex education because they don't have ability to that. Indeed, elements such as contraception, adolescence, pregnancy, complication, abortion, HIV, and genital infection are medical topics that must be quite difficult to convey by those who are not trained in medicine health. So, the ministry strongly agrees with the effort to provide specialized training to teachers involved by experts who are skilled in the field to increase their level of confidence and skill. Effective presentation technique using specific teaching aids such as a picture are also necessary to help students understand and appreciate what is being presented. Like Afrika Amin say, how many students still think that pregnancy can be prevented by watching the vagina after having sex? Actually, it's not absolutely not correct. So, we should convince our teenagers that they should be proud if they choose not to have sex directly as a method contraception, because only such a method can provide 100% protection from pregnancy, getting HIV infection, and sexually transmitted disease. Preventive measures that have been taught by religion to control lust so as not to be aroused and tempted to commit adultery, such as not watching pornography, dressing politely, and not alone in secluded place should also be emphasized as an important element in sex education. In addition, awareness of the importance of maintaining self-esteem, appreciating short and meaningful adolescence, as well as publishing male adolescent respect for adolescent girls always play an important role. So there is a few steps from me. So we will pass this for Munira to conclude the whole story.
Conclusion of story. It can be concluded that sex education can help teenagers with learning disabilities to protect themselves, as well as preventing others from abusing them sexually. Therefore, it can be concluded that sex education can aid teenagers in their sexuality and related issues at present and in the future. That's all from us. Sorry if we got the wrong info. Thank you for listening to our forum.